So investors use valuation to make informed decisions about buying, selling, or holding securities. Identifying overvalued assets can lead to profitable investments. So there are two profitable investments. They are corporate finance and risk management. So for corporate finance, companies use valuation for the purpose like mergers and acquisitions, issuing new securities, and capital budgeting. So, and, and for the risk management, valuation helps understanding the potential risks associated with an investment. So, the fundamental principle behind the security valuation is that the value of an asset is expected to future cash flows. So, this discounted at an appropriate rate that reflects the riskiness of those cash flow. Forecasting future cash flows. So this requires analyzing historical financial statements, industry trends, and microeconomic factors to the project that cash flows the security is expected to generate over a specific period. So, for example, for a stock that is might involve a forecasting free cash flow to equity FCFI or free cash flow to the firm FCFF. And next is relative valuation. This approach values a security by comparing into similar assets. Example are comparable companies in the same industry based on the market multiplies. Common multiplies include price to earnings, price to book, enterprise value to EBITDA, EV divide EBITDA, and price to sales. Asset-based valuation. This method determines a company's value based on the fair market value of its assets minus its liability, net asset value minus NAV. This approach is most suitable for the companies with significant tangible assets such as real estate or investment holding companies, or for valuing companies that may be liquidated. So, estimating terminal value. What is estimating terminal value? Since it's possible to forecast a cash flow indefinitely, a terminal value is estimated to capture the value of all cash flows beyond the forecast period. So this can be done using a Gordon growth rate model, assuming a constant growth rate, or an exit multiple approach. So here are the example of security valuation using dividend discount model. So a company just had paid a dividend of $1 per share as expected to pay the same dividend for the next year. So you expect the dividend to remain constant. So the required rate of return for this stock is 10%. So to get the value stock that can be calculated as value equals dividend divide required rate of return. So 1 divided by 0.10 is equals to 10. So this means if the stock is trading below $10, it may be a good buy because its intrinsic value is higher than the market price. It is trading above $10, it might be overvalued. So security valuation isn't about estimating what security is truly worth by looking at its expected future, but also benefits and discounting them to today's value. So the process helps investors to decide whether to buy, hold, or sell securities based on whether they are undervalued or overvalued. So compared to their market price. So the different method exists, but they all revolve around understanding future cash flows and appropriate discount rate. Here are the second example for bond valuation. So the scenario, suppose you want to buy a bond that pays $50 in interest every year called the coupon payment. So will the return its face value of $1,000. At the end of 5 years, the maturity and the required return of rate is discount is for this bond is 8%. So the goal is to find the bond's fair value price today. So step 1, understand the cash flow. So you'll receive a $50,000 in every year for 5 years. At the end of the 5 years, you will get back your $1,000 beyond the bonds for face value. So step 2, calculate the present value of the coupon payments. Each $50,000 coupon is discounted back today using the required rate of return of 8%. So the formula of the present value of annuity. So here is the formula for present value of an annuity. So PV coupon equals C times parenthesis 1 minus 1 over divide parenthesis 1 plus R equals N parenthesis equals R. C is equals to 50, the annual coupon, and the R is for the rate, 0.8, the required rate of return, and the N is the 5 years. So for calculating it, 50 times 1 minus 1 divide 1.08 to the power of 5 divide 0.8 equals 50. Then step 3, calculating the present value of the face value, the lump sum. So the $1,000 you'll get a maturity is discounted back for 5 years. So 1,000 divide 1.08 to the power of 5 is equals 1,000 divide. So the coupon payments are like small income streams you receive regularly. Since money today is worth more than in the future, you discount these for future payments for their present value. So face value is the lump sum you'll get back the end of the bond's life, also discounted to today's value. So the required rate of the return reflects how much the return investors want for the risk of holding this bond. So the bond's fair value is equals to $880.23 is what you should be willing to pay today to receive those future payments given by the 8% required return. So if the bond market price is below $880.23, it might be a good buy, but it offers a better return than 8%. If it's above 880.23, it might be overpriced relative to the return you want.